Hello everybody! Today I'm going to show you how you can turn a big thrifted shirt into a sundress. That's today on Refashioning with Rachel. First, remove the sleeves from your shirt. Before you cut into your shirt, you probably want to make sure that it is big enough. The top of the shirt should be at least half as wide as the circumference of your upper body, plus about 3 inches for seam allowance and to gather up the fabric. After confirming that your shirt is big enough, cut off the bottom right underneath the back yoke. Then draw in 2 straight lines that extend from the bottom corners of the shirt right up to the top alongside the armholes. And cut. To straighten out the bottom, measure and make marks the same distance away from the top. And cut. This evens out the bottom to create a nice A-line silhouette. Then place the back and the front of the dress with right sides together. Pin along the sides and sew. Then serge or zigzag the raw edge. And press the seams with an iron. To keep the bottom from flying open, sew down the bottom of the dress. Now we're going to use the sleeves to make a ruffle for the bottom of the dress and make the dress longer. First, remove the cuff and cut open along the underarm seam to open up the sleeve. Cut it in half. And then cut out the biggest rectangles you can from each half. I have these convenient grid lines in the fabric of my sleeves that I can use to cut straight right angles, but if you don't have them in your sleeves, just use a ruler. Do the same thing with the other sleeve. And then pin the ends of the rectangles together, creating one big loop. And sew. Serge or zigzag the raw edges. And press the seams with an iron. Then hem one side of this loop and make a basting stitch on the other side. Make the hem simply by folding over the raw edge twice, just a little bit, and securing with a stitch. And unfortunately, I did not record making the basting stitch and gathering up the ruffle, so I apologize for that, but just imagine I did. So you will want to make a basting stitch, or the longest possible straight stitch, along the other side of this ruffle, and gather up the ruffle until it is the same width as the bottom of the dress. Then pin the ruffle to the dress with right sides together. And sew. Then you can remove the basting stitch and finish the raw edge with a zigzag stitch or a serger. Then this step is optional, but if you want to make the ruffle lie a little smoother, make a stitch on the ruffle just about 1 millimeter away from the previous stitch, and making sure the seam allowance is toward the ruffle. So as I'm flattening out the ruffle, I'm constantly feeling for the seam allowance underneath the fabric. Now serge or zigzag the top of the dress. Then measure and make a mark 1.5 inches away from the top edge of the dress, all around the top. Then fold over the top edge of the dress to meet that mark and make a stitch close to the finished edge. Leave about a 2-inch gap in between where you start and finish this stitch. Cut a piece of elastic that is the length of the circumference of your upper torso plus 1 inch for seam allowance, and using a safety pin, feed the elastic through the channel you just created in the top of the dress. Double check to make sure the elastic didn't get twisted around. Then overlap the ends 1/2 inch, and sew. And at this point, you might want to try on the dress to make sure the elastic is the right length. And if you're happy with it, you can sew over the gap to close it. And also, when you try on the dress, decide where you want to put your straps. To make the straps, cut out a bunch of 1.5 inch strips from all of your scrap fabric. You will need enough strips of fabric to make a waistband that will be twice the length of your waist measurement, and 2 shoulder straps that should be anywhere from 2 to 3 feet long. Sew these strips together end to end. And then iron them flat and with the seams pressed open. Fold them in half long ways with right sides together and make a stitch 1/2 inch away from the fold. As you are going over the seams, make sure the seam is open on the top and underneath as it goes through the foot. Then turn the straps right side out using an embroidery needle and some thick thread. Attach your straps to the top of your dress. And sew. Finish off the ends by tying a little knot and trimming off the excess. And do the same thing with the ends of the waist tie. I decided to make a last-minute design change. I removed the pocket from the top of the dress. And sewed it back on at the bottom of the dress. And then this project is finished. So here's a reminder of how it looked before. And here's how it looks now. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and comment if you did. And have a beautiful day.